Is Pathfinder trying to create their own Baldur's Gate 3?
I mean, I had my hopes.
Baldur's Gate 3 was a massive success for Wizards of the Coast and D&D, and seemed to capture the essence of the best D&D campaigns in video game form. And now Paizo and Pathfinder seem to be aiming for those lofty heights as well, with the upcoming Kickstarter for their new game, Pathfinder: The Dragon's Demand. So why not unleash a flurry of blows on those like and subscribe buttons to help us keep making these videos, and then let's take a deep dive on Pathfinder's attempt for a Baldur's Gate 3 style smash hit. Pathfinder is no stranger to video games, having produced two very good cRPGs in the classic Baldur's Gate style with Owlcat Studios, those being Kingmaker and Wrath of the Righteous. But neither exploded the way Baldur's Gate 3 did, and both featured a more top-down, less graphically impressive style that called back to the classic games like Neverwinter Nights or Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. But The Dragon's Demand is looking to change all that, although the new team working on the project, Ossian Studios, is made up of a lot of those Neverwinter Night and early Baldur's Gate veterans. The unique twist The Dragon's Demand will have is miniature-based characters, monsters, and NPCs, like an incredibly polished version of Project Sigil, with fully 3D terrain and environments so you can fly up and fight a wyvern in the air, or dive under the water to take on a pack of unruly sea devils. In a lot of ways, it feels like what Project Sigil sort of hopes it can be, but in fully realized cRPG form. And much like Baldur's Gate 3, it will feature the return of iconic characters in Pathfinder's most popular setting, like Fumbus, the Goblin Alchemist, and quests that react and change depending on the party's previous actions. Baldur's Gate 3 showed that allowing fans a more fully realized 3D world to explore, climb over, and jump across opens up the game in exciting new ways, and The Dragon's Demand seems to fully understand this, while adding in a very interesting graphical style that makes it feel like you're playing Pathfinder at the house of that one guy you know that somehow has every piece of Dwarven Forge terrain ever made fully painted. And just like Baldur's Gate 3, it's bringing a ton of options into character creation, with 16 main classes to choose from, over 30 backgrounds to customize your characters, and 7 ancestries to pick from as well. And much like Baldur's Gate 3, The Dragon's Demand will draw on some iconic storylines from Pathfinder, namely the classic Pathfinder 1 adventure of the same name. While Ossian has said they are making changes to the storyline so that people who played the original adventure will have new content and new surprises to look forward to, the general storyline involves the town of Belhaim, founded by a famous dragon slayer long ago, becoming plagued by strange occurrences and disasters, and the disappearance of their local wizard, all of which may be tied to the return of a dragon seeking revenge for the, dragon-slaying act that founded the town. The adventure is considered one of the original classics of Pathfinder, and while not as massive as something like the Abomination Vaults, its more modest scope fits a video game that will have huge amounts of replayability better, and is much more in line with Baldur's Gate 3, since even the original Pathfinder adventure was also broken up into 3 distinct chapters. Ossian Studios promises at least 30 hours of gameplay for the first playthrough of The Dragon's Demand, but much like Baldur's Gate 3, there are a lot of optional side quests that could pad that out, and of course you will probably want to play through multiple times with different character classes or party compositions, and you always have to check out all the different romance options. So Pathfinder clearly seems to have learned from the success of Baldur's Gate 3 that people want more freedom and a more 3D world and characters to explore it. And if they can deliver on all those things, plus add in the distinctive new miniatures-based visual style to tie it all together, it's really just going to be down to how well the game's other characters and cast are brought to life, to see if The Dragon's Demand will explode like Baldur's Gate 3 did. Does the team at Ossian Studios have it in them to create the next Astarion or Karlach? Will we see some excellent voice actors brought in to really bring these characters to life? That could very well be the deciding factor on the game's popularity, but we won't have to wait too long to find out. We should get a ton of new info when the Kickstarter launches next week. So what do you think? Could The Dragon's Demand become Pathfinder's Baldur's Gate 3? Do you like the new miniature-based graphics? Let us know in the comment section, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.